everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I posted. Very sorry about that. Been dealing with some personal things, but we're back. I have a lot of exciting videos planned. I'm very excited to film all of those. Today is going to be a full video of reviews of new makeup or makeup I haven't talked about on my channel. This is strictly makeup. I will be doing a different video on skincare, body care, other things like that. But this video is makeup. I tried to go for like fall vibes on the eyes and the lips, just like a little bit darker with like the brown sweater because it's October. And fall is like a really happy time of year. I love fall. Now that I live in California, we don't really get fall. It was literally 100 degrees the other day and I miss it so much. I miss like the chill and the leaves and everything that I got in New England. I miss it so much, so trying to bring a little bit of fall today. I have a feeling this is gonna be a long video, so I'm gonna stop talking and then I'm gonna start talking about the makeup. Okay, we're gonna go in kind of order of how you would apply it on your face, category by category. So I'm gonna start with primers. I feel like I've talked about this on my channel a little bit before, but I just wanted to put it in here just in case. This is the Covergirl TruBlend Skin Enhancer Velvet Blur Primer. I don't love this all over the face. I find that it doesn't really blur my pores. It doesn't really do much for me, but I don't have extremely noticeable pores on my face like some other people do. So this isn't really geared too much towards me, but how I do love to use this is under the eyes, which I think I've talked about before. I love smoothing, blurring silicone primers under the eyes to prevent my concealer from settling into fine lines. Granted, I'm not someone who has the most fine lines in the world. I do have more than I did when I was 16 though, perks of being 25. I find that this really helps for my concealer to just sit very nicely and smoothly on top, not dry out throughout the day and settle into those fine lines. So that is what I use this for, and I really like it for that. I don't like the feeling of a silicone primer all over my face, like the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. I don't know how people use it. It's just like the I don't like it. The next primer I want to talk about is the Provence Beauty Bare Lumiere Protecting and Performing Cream. This is technically a moisturizer. However, I don't use it as my like everyday moisturizer. This lives in my makeup drawers because this to me is more makeup-y than it is skincare for my personal routine. I think makeup sits so beautifully on top of this moisturizer. It has like a really plushy texture, a nice subtle glow to your skin. It's not shimmery, it's not glittery, it's not like overly glowy, but it gives a beautiful, juicy plumpness to the skin, and makeup just glides over top of it. It hydrates your skin so much so that your makeup, you know, isn't being sucked into your skin for moisture. This is so moisturizing, thick, lovely. And it comes with the little squeeze key. I love little tools on products. I know it literally means nothing about the product, but I don't know. I like that it comes with this. This makes me happy. Now moving into foundation, I have 3 foundations to talk about. I don't have the bottles because I got samples at Sephora, which I recommend that you do. Foundations are expensive. They're hard to finish up. If you want to try a new formula that's out, just go get a sample from Sephora. They like fill this. So honestly, like a sample will last me, if I'm using it pretty often, like a month, maybe more, which is a good amount of time to figure out if you like a foundation or not and you want to go purchase the full one, or maybe you just use it up and then you're like, I want to use something else. The first foundation I want to talk about is the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydra Luxe blah 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 blah. It has like 8 names. There's too many words in the title of this foundation, but it's the new liquid Patrick Ta foundation. I have the shade 3. This is a very light coverage foundation. You might be able to build it up to medium if you use a lot, and I honestly I wouldn't say steer clear of using a lot because the texture and the feel of this on the skin feels more like a moisturizer than it does a foundation. It doesn't feel like makeup. It truly feels like you're putting like a lotion on your face. So building it up doesn't get cakey. It doesn't look heavy. It just, you know, you look very moisturized, but it is not so thin that I would call it a skin tint. It definitely has some coverage and it has some like consistency to it. So not a skin tint. I would put this with foundations, just a very moisturizing foundation. And the glow that this foundation has is a very beautiful, healthy glow. It's not overly glowy. You can set it down with powder and it's, you know, not gonna break through. It's just over the course of the day gonna give you a very nice, healthy glow and not look greasy. Very different. Healthy glow versus greasy. It is not greasy. It is a healthy glow. On me personally, this foundation does last all day. I wore it for like 10 and a half, 11 and a half hours one day, and it looked beautiful all day long because I set it properly with powder. If you don't set this, it might be too glowy for you and it's probably not gonna last all day, but because it is pretty glowy and kind of light coverage and feels very moisturizing, this is not going to be worth the price for everybody. This is like $68 or $69 or $58. I don't know. It's a very expensive foundation. So if you want a lot of coverage, this is not the foundation for you. I would just completely skip this one. But if you have dry skin, you like a lighter coverage, you want something very hydrating, and you know, coverage isn't your deal, on something that is glowy without being greasy, go pick up a sample of this, try it in store. I think it is a stunning, beautiful formula. This next one is pretty controversial online. I made a TikTok talking about it before I ever even tried it, and that video got like over 1 million views because, well, I'll just say it is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation, because everyone was saying it's so light, it's so light, it's so light. But I was watching the videos and I was like, this looks so heavy. And so I just had to try it out for myself, and I did kind of eat my words. I'll say it, I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. Long story short, I love this foundation. It does feel very lightweight on the skin. It is a silicone-based foundation, so very slippy, very thin. However, it can look cakey. So it feels thin, but it can look pretty heavy on the skin, especially through the camera. That was a lot of issues people were having in real life. It looks very smooth, but on camera, it was just looking very heavy. This is a medium buildable foundation, so you can build it up to full coverage if you're using a good amount of it. Just know it's gonna feel a little bit heavier than you are gonna expect because it is marketed as such a lightweight, thin foundation. It is called the Easy Blur Foundation, and it's marketed in this 3-step system with a primer, a foundation, and a powder. I personally don't think that you should have to buy a 3-step system just to make one product work, because it is called the Easy Blur Foundation. I don't find that it blurs at all. It definitely applies very smoothly. My skin looks nice, but I wouldn't say that it's, you know, a filter in a bottle like it's marketed as. But it's marketed that way if you use the blurring primer, the foundation, and like the blurring matte setting powder, which I don't know, I don't think you should have to do all of that just for one product. If you want to mix and match primers, foundations, powders to get those different effects from each, that makeup's supposed to be fun. You're not, I don't know. I don't love that you have to buy all 3. Also, quick note on the primer, you have to use like 2 finger lengths of it. That's how it's marketed. That's how much sunscreen you use. That is so much product. You're gonna go through that so fast. I don't know. The whole line's not for me, but I do think the foundation is stunning. I wore this foundation while I was on FaceTime with my mom. Like, I was just wearing the foundation. I wasn't really wearing anything else, and she couldn't tell I had makeup on. Granted, it was through FaceTime, so, you know, camera, whatever, but it wasn't set. I didn't have anything else on. She couldn't tell that I was wearing any makeup. And I do have the shade Shortbread, which is not my regular shade. Obviously, I bought it when I had self tanner on, so I do want to go back and get my regular shade because I think the formula is, I think it's very, very beautiful. It is a natural matte, feels thin. If you don't set it with too much powder, it shouldn't look that heavy, and it lasts a long time. I just think it's beautiful. It is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The last foundation is not a new foundation by any means, but it is new to me, and that is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. This has been out for, I feel like 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and I just never tried it. I don't know. I saw all the good reviews and I was like, it's expensive. I got a sample of it because I was like, you know what? I finally want to try this. I have the shade Oslo, which is the second lightest shade. It's very pink tone. If you are fair, cool toned, beautiful shade. It is as good as everyone says. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that, but it is as good. I'm wearing it right now. I'll insert the clip of me putting it on. It is a medium coverage foundation that is buildable, so similar coverage to the Huda Beauty, except this is not matte at all. It is glowy, but not as glowy as the Patrick Ta. It has a subtle luminosity to it that's going to give, you know, that healthy look to your skin. I am powder right now, but you can see there's a little bit of just like angelic glow from underneath my makeup, and that is this foundation. Being called the Light Reflecting Foundation, something about that name just kind of informed to me that it was going to be a thinner consistency. It is not. This is a foundation consistency. It's like medium to thick, but this is a foundation. This is not a tint. This is not a put it on and go. This is a foundation, and it is so stunning. I understand all of the hype. This is a beautiful, gorgeous. It's $52, which is a little expensive. That's expensive, but not as bad as some other foundations for some reason. I think if you want one really good foundation, I would go with this because I love my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy. I do think this is a little bit better than that. Now, is it 5 times the price better? I don't know, but it's stunning. Out of those 3 foundations, I think for a more matte one, I would go Huda Beauty is a beautiful option. For a more glowy option, Nars Light Reflecting is fantastic. I think the Patrick Ta is good. I would say it's not maybe worth the price. I would say the Patrick Ta you don't need. You can absolutely skip that one. It's expensive, doesn't have a lot of coverage. It looks beautiful, but in the world of foundations, it's not a need. Now let's move our way into powders. This is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Set Setting Powder. Again, so many names in all of these products. When I first tried this, I did not like it because I followed the directions that it said to do. And I do not recommend you follow the directions. The directions say to apply this with a puff, and I do not recommend that you do that. I love a puff for most powders. Not this one. Not this one. It is matte, okay? It is not soft skin, whatever. It is matte, and it is drying, and it is tight. So if you're applying with a puff, you're applying a specific amount to a concentrated area. So you're gonna end up using way too much powder, and it is going to feel tight and dry. It's gonna keep you matte all day, but at a cost. If you have oily skin, that might be the way to go for you, but I have normal leaning dry skin. That is not the way to go for me. I prefer to take this like on a brush. I don't work it into the brush because then I feel like I'm not gonna get enough, because you do need to use a substantial amount of this powder. If you just like lightly dust it, it's not gonna do shit, okay? You need to use a good chunk of this powder, but in order to keep it from feeling super dry and tight and looking dry and crepey, which it will if you use a puff, I'll pick it up on a brush, as you'll see in the clip, and then I won't shake it off, dust any of that off. I will just start tapping my face with that and disperse it with the brush on my face instead of dispersing it with the brush on my hand first, because I find that this is just, it sets the best, it disperses the powder the best way while setting appropriately. This is a $38 powder. Do I think that it's worth $38? No. I'm so sorry. Lucille just keeps playing with a box behind me. If this was like $32, I would say go for it. But something about being 38, I feel like that's a little steep, a little hefty for what it is. I think it's a decent powder. It's okay, but for the price, you don't need it. If it was, again, like $32, I would say, yeah, go get it. It's fine. It's workable, but since it's not so great, I think you can skip this one. But this is the shade Fair Pink. It's not too pink, which I like. It's a little bit pink, like a slight off pink, but it's not a pink powder. It's not too pink. It's actually a very flattering shade for very pale skin. This powder I would recommend over the Makeup by Mario because I like it. I think it's easier to work with. I think it's a better powder and it's more affordable. This is the Tower 28 GetSet setting powder. This is the shade Palisades Pink. This is the shade that I use most often all over my face. I find the translucent one to just be a little bit too brightening for what I like, but if you're very, very fair, it's gonna be a stunning shade. This is, in my opinion, like a foolproof powder. No matter how I apply it, it looks stunning. With whatever, like my fingers, with a puff, with a brush, if I under apply, if I over apply the product, it's not going to look bad and it's gonna hold up all day, even if you're just using like a tap, tap, tap. It's a phenomenal powder. It is talc free. Both of these powders are talc free. That's not something I necessarily like look for in a powder, but a lot of people do, so that's nice to know. Again, this is called Palisades Pink. It's not super pink. It's just a little bit pink. A very flattering shade. It doesn't actually pull pink on the skin, so I think this is beautiful. I've talked about this in another video, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but stunning, absolutely wonderful, 100% recommend this powder. Now let's get into blushes. I have 3 blushes to talk about. They are all cream or liquid. So let's start with the IT Cosmetics Sun Blush. It's so unique because it is a cream, but then once you touch it, it melts really quickly, almost transforms into a gel and blends out like water. Whether or not I'm picking it up with my fingers, a brush, a sponge, whatever it is, it's such a unique formula, and that's one of the things that I love so much about IT Cosmetics is that they don't release product just to release product. They're not releasing what's popular on the market. They are releasing products when they have something to innovate in the beauty industry. I feel like we need an IT Cosmetics renaissance because they don't get the love that they deserve for the level of innovation in their products, truly. This is the Sun Blush in the shade 10 Sunlit. It's a little bit warmer than what I typically go for. I don't love more like peachy blushes because they tend to pull orange on me, but I think this one stays pretty pink, and I am a really big fan of this formula. It blends in so easily. I think these blushes are gonna look stunning on everyone. They're supposed to give you that sun-kissed kind of glow. It definitely does that. I want them to release like more shades in this formula because it's so unique, and I've never had a cream blush like this before, and it's, you know, skincare infused, so we love that. There's not much from IT Cosmetics that I don't love, and this is no exception. This is from Colourpop. This is their liquid blush in the shade IKTR, which I believe stands for I Know That's Right. This is a very lightweight liquid blush. It's a little bit like, I wouldn't say moussey, but maybe a bit gel-like with the way that it sticks up on the thing. It's not like a super liquid, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to describe it. It's like maybe almost whipped. A whipped gel, if that makes sense. I mean, it's very clear what they were doing with the packaging. This is a really nice, like, mid-toned pink with like a hint of coolness to it. I do love this shade very much. I find it very flattering on myself for when I want something that's a bit more pinky rather than like purple, mauve-y, or like beige. Applying it on top of foundation, when you're applying it obviously on top of something wet, you have a lot of time to work with this before it dries down. It really almost doesn't dry down on the face, so you have kind of like unlimited time to work with this if you're applying it over top of a skin tint or a foundation. If you're not and you're just like applying this to bare skin, you're gonna have a little bit less time to work with it. And here's the thing, it's Colourpop, so it's affordable. It is a good liquid blush. I'm not denying that. It's a really nice one. It's a very good one. But I feel like in this day and age, if you have a liquid blush, you have all the liquid blushes. The difference between the liquid blushes on the market are, to me, like abysmal. They all do the same. They're all like, wow, look at how much pigment and look how beautifully they blend. Like, they're all good. So if you don't have a liquid blush and you want a liquid blush and you want an affordable liquid blush, then I think that this is great. But if you already have liquid blushes and you're like, ooh, a new liquid blush formula, it's not a new liquid blush formula. They're all the same. And the last liquid blush is from Mango People. You guys should know my thoughts on Mango People by now. I love Mango People. I think their formulas are so nice and versatile. I will link my Mango People review here. I've also talked about other formulas in other videos. They were in my favorites, but this is a new shade of their multi-stick called Sweet Berry. It's stunning. It's a very deep berry tone, which I love berries because they are flattering on everybody. I've never met someone that did not look gorgeous in a berry blush. Because it's such a deep berry, you can just sheer it out to work on fairer skin tones or build it up to work on deeper skin tones. It's such a stunning shade. It looks beautiful on the cheeks, on the lips, on the eyes. It is a multi-stick. You can wear it everywhere, all over your face. And especially with fall coming up, I think this is just like a stunning, beautiful shade. I'm gonna be wearing it all the time. It is, it's so good. It's so good. If you've been wanting to try the multi-stick formula, but you didn't know what shade to get, I would highly recommend Sweet Berry because it is going to look good on everybody, no doubt, no questions asked. Moving into bronzers, I have one bronzer. This is the Dibs Duet Baked Bronzer in the shade Vanilla Latte. This is one of the sheerest bronzers I have ever used in my entire life, which I personally love. Because being the color of snow, it's hard to find bronzers that are not too overpowering on my skin tone. So I love that this is one of the lightest shades I've ever used and one of the sheerest formulas I've ever used. That's not gonna be a hit for everybody. A lot of people probably aren't going to like this, but I love it. The tone is a beautiful neutral. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's not too pinky. It is just stunning. And you also get a more marbled side over here that you can add in more warmth and depth if you want. They do have a slight sheen to them, not shimmery. The marbled side has a little bit of shimmer in it, but overall, just like a healthy, gorgeous satin finish on the cheeks, which again, stunning on everyone. I'll say it has a scent to it. It does have vanillin or vanillin as one of the ingredients. Also in the cream bronzer, this one, you can smell it a little bit. It does have a hint of vanilla, but it doesn't bother me at all. It's very, very subtle. Like, it smells like it went off. I don't know, like not in like a woo party way, but in like a sour way. And the fragrance is not my favorite. I love the product so much that it doesn't bother me too much. And you can't smell it once it's on the face, but when you open it while you're applying it, you can smell it. And it's just, you know, it's not a delightful scent. Moving up into the eye area, I have one eyeshadow palette to talk about, and that is the Lottie London Harley Quinn collab. This is the Toxic Love eyeshadow palette. The colors are very pretty. I will give them that. It's giving Harley Quinn. It has those reds and those deeper tones, very fall, October. But I do feel the same way about this palette from Lottie London as I do about the last palette I tried from them, which was their Outer Banks collection. They're a very collection-based brand, I have found out. But overall, I think these are good, but they're not great, which I feel that way about all of the Lottie London eyeshadows because they're like a little bit difficult to work with. The lasting power is okay, and the mattes could be more pigmented. They're decently blendable. The shimmers you have to pick up with your finger. They absolutely will not pick up with a brush, which is not something that I count against this palette because that's true of most shimmers and glitters. I think it's good. I think it's okay, but again, the formula doesn't wow me. Granted, it is drugstore. I feel like you maybe could get better at the drugstore. But overall, these are workable. You can get a really beautiful look with this palette. The shadows are fine. I'm not saying that they're bad and terrible in any way, shape, or form. They are decent, but there just is better eyeshadows that I think your money is better spent elsewhere. But if you love Harley Quinn or you just love Lottie London as a brand and you want to get this palette, go for it. It's a cute little collector's item. It's magnetic on one side, which is a little, I don't know why, but that's cool. Like, I think the price is fine for the quality, but like if I paid more than that and I got this quality, I would be upset. 2 more categories left and then we're done. We have brows and lips. So for brows, there's actually only one, and then I have a lot of lip stuff, so that's gonna be a pretty big section. This is the Kosas Air Brow, their clear lifting treatment gel. I don't know what about this is a treatment, but it's a clear brow gel, and holy smokes, I love this. I am very picky about brow gels because I want them to be a little bit flexible, but I want them to hold all day, and I don't want them to be difficult to remove, which I feel like you can't get all of that. Now, something like the Anastasia brow gel or like the Maybelline Super Lock brow gel, your brow hairs are not going anywhere. The wind will fear your brows with this brow gel, okay? It's so heavy duty, keeps your brows in place all day, but I feel like I am like tearing out my eyebrow hairs with my cleansing balm to get this to come off. Well, I am pleasantly surprised with everything about this. It is a pretty thin consistency of a gel, which I like a more liquidy brow gel. I find that they're just, I don't know, a little bit easier to run through your brows, and it has all day hold. It's not so intense as like any other laminating brow gel like the Maybelline Super Lock, but it's just under that, where it keeps your brows in place all day long with strong hold, but not like super strong hold. Your brows aren't going anywhere. They're also not glued down to your face, and it's easy to remove. I just take my cleansing balm, rub it over my brows, and the product kind of like balls up, and you just wipe it away. No missing eyebrow hairs after. Okay, now we're into lips, and there is a lot, so just buckle up. I'm gonna try and go through these as quickly as I can. The first one is the Kosas Hotline. This is their lip liner. This is the shade 100. It is a twist up lip liner. It is not a lip pencil like a wooden lip pencil, but it is drier in consistency than I expected from a twist up pencil. A lot of twist up pencils are a bit creamier, a little bit softer. This is stiff and dry, which personally in a lip liner, I like that kind of a formula because it's gonna hold up all day and you're able to drag it and you can just do more with that kind of a lip liner, and I have more trust and faith in those kinds of lip liners. But that being said, I like that in a pencil lip liner. In a twist up lip liner, I worry that since, you know, it's surrounded by air in the pencil and there's not, you know, in a wooden pencil, it's one piece. So if the top dries out, you just sharpen it and you're back to like your good pigmented creamy lip liner. If this dries out, the whole thing dries out. The fact that it's already a dry, stiff formula, I worry about how long it's going to take to dry out because I feel like it's gonna happen pretty quickly, especially since Kosas, I believe, is a clean brand. I don't know if this is gonna be formulated to last as long as other lip pencils in this sort of condition. This does come with a sharpener and a lip pencil brush, both of which I will probably never ever use. This is $22, which I don't know if that price is because of like the sharpener and the brush, but to put that in perspective, a similar lip liner formula that has a sharpener as well and no brush, the Huda Beauty lip contours, this is $21. This is $22. I believe it's the same amount of product. Yeah, they both have half of a gram of product, so same amount. This one's just $1 more, and it also comes with a brush, so I guess the pricing isn't that off for high end. If you're never gonna use that lip brush, I would maybe just go with the Huda because it's a very similar formula and it's not a clean brand, so I'm not as worried about this drying out. But the shade, this is shade 100, so stunning. It's a little bit warmer on the side of like pinky beigey nudes, but in terms of a pinky nude for pale skin, this is one of the best I have found. It is very hard to find something that's not gonna turn orange or brown or just wash you out and look bad. in the nude lip liner category, and this one is one of the few that I have found that is just a stunning My Lips But Better shade. Now let's talk about the Tower 28 Lipsoftie. This is in the shade Flavor Scent Ube Vanilla. This is what I've been wearing on my lips, and I need a re-up of it. You can see it shears out very nicely. However, if you're putting on a lot of this product, since it is a darker shade in this sort of balm formula, it can not look a little bit patchy, but just not spread out as evenly on the lips as easily as maybe a lighter shade or a different formula. If I had a lighter shade or even the clear one, I don't think that I would mind the applicator. It is that like Carmex applicator that's just rounded, which I assume helped bring the price of this product down, but in the deeper shades, it's just harder to, I don't know, accurately get in the lines of your lips. It can get a little bit messy with the darker shade. Not the end of the world, but just something to know. This is not a toss on and go in the darker shade. Again, this is Ube Vanilla because of that applicator. If it had a different applicator, maybe I would be more comfortable applying it without a mirror or just tossing it in my purse and reapplying it whenever. But I just don't feel as comfortable with that because I feel like I'm just gonna end up with purple all over my mouth. This feels very nice on the lips. It's not like a world-changing lip balm. It's a good lip balm, a decent lip balm. Again, this has like pigment and color to it. It's a little bit more makeup-y than it is just like a, oh, my lips need hydration, but it's a good 2-in-1 for that. If you like and want a lip balm that feels nice, smells delicious, looks very pretty, this is a great one. Honestly, the experience alone and the smell and just, it's worth the price to me. Some call out ingredients in here are shea butter, jojoba oil, lysine, and coconut oil. Coconut oil is very far down the ingredients list, so I don't notice any irritation with this lip balm on my lips personally. Next is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm Stick. I have the shade Blaz'd Donut. Long story short, it's not my favorite. I kind of regret buying it. This is a gloss stick, so you should apply this by dabbing and not swiping. When I swipe this on my lips, it just gets very goopy. The pigmentation is not dispersed that well, and it just feels, it doesn't look great on my lips. Dab it, it's just dispersing the color lightly over time, and it's very glossy, a very beautiful finish. So it's not terrible. It's a nice nude pink. The color is a little bit pinkier on me than I was kind of hoping for. It feels nice on the lips. When my lips are dry, sometimes I'll just dab this on, and it does work. It feels very beautiful, but the scent, no bueno. No bueno. I don't know why they went with this. I don't even know if there's fragrance in here. Like, there's like notes of candy in the back, but it's assaulting my nose. I don't like it. Like, it doesn't smell good. Like, it kind of makes me not want to reach for this because of how it smells. So overall, the experience of applying it is not the best, and the scent is really bad. So I don't recommend these. I don't think that they are that great, and they're like $20, so spend your $20 on Rent, not a lip gloss. If you do want to spend like $20 on a lip gloss, I would much rather recommend the Kosas lip oils. This is the Wet Lip Oil. This is the mini one. This came in the birthday set. This is not the full size. The full size is bigger than this. It's in the shade Unbuttoned. This is really hydrating on the lips. It's not thick and sticky, but it's not thin and disappearing in like 4 seconds. It's a little bit on the thinner side, but very hydrating. It feels like it's hydrating my lips, and it's not gonna, you know, just disappear. It smells like a chocolate orange almost. Like, it's a little bit chocolatey, but then it has like a hint of citrus in it. I personally really like it. I think the applicator is a really cute kind of like curved doe foot. I think that it hugs the lips really nicely. It's not like a lot of the other lip oil formulas that are like very thick. This is just, it's really nice. Lips look very juicy, very glossy, but not like annoyingly so that like your hair is gonna stick to it. It's not like that. It's just really, really beautiful. I don't like a lot of lip oil formulas, but I do really like this one. I know I just said I don't like a lot of lip oil formulas, and I'm about to talk about another one that I like, but I really don't like a lot of them. These two just happen to be lovely. This one has some caveats though. This is the Lottie London and Harley Quinn collab. This is their put-in lip oil. This is a pH color changing lip oil, which I don't love because it just always turns that unflattering shade of fuchsia, at least unflattering on me. Honestly, rather it just stay black and gave me like a black tint to my lips, like just deepen anything that I was wearing. I would much rather it do that because the formula is so nice. It feels very plushy and cushiony on the lips. It's so luxurious. It smells like cotton candy. It's so yummy. I love all the yummy lip products, but this is actually like the last one that smells really yummy, but so yummy. It has squalane, jojoba oil, hyaluronic acid, meadow foam seed oil, so it's very nourishing to the lip, very moisturizing. It leaves, again, like a very cushiony layer on the lips that feels luxurious, and this is like single-digit pricing. I love a lot of Lottie London's lip products, like the lip oil and then this lip peptide lip balm that they released with the Outer Banks collection. Make them permanent, please. That's what I hate about these collection-based brands, is that they'll release like a really great product in it, and then like once the Outer Banks collection is gone, you can't get this lip balm. I looked for it on the website. It's not one of their like permanent products. So this is probably also not going to be one of their permanent products. But if they made a non-pH adjusting version of this lip oil, baby, I would be all over it, because I hate the shade. I hate it, but it feels so good. Feels so luxurious. I would honestly pay way more for this and then it costs. And it's like a roller ball, which that feels a little bit cheap. The packaging feels cheap, but the product feels luxurious. Like, I would pay upwards of $20 for this formula. I'm so glad that I don't have to, but I would consider it. But I'm so glad that please don't raise prices, please. This is the last thing from the Lottie London Harley Quinn collection. This is gonna be really quick. This is their glitter switch. It's one of those like the Dior and the Ciate one that went super viral like last year and a few years ago, where you put it on, let it dry, press your lips together, and then it's like magically glitter. This looks like garbage. There's not a lot of glitter. It looks really, really bad. It's super drying. It doesn't feel good. Absolute fail. Absolute fail. Do not go spend your money on this. It's not, no. This is the Colourpop So Juicy Lip Oils, Plumping Glossy. This is the Colourpop So Juicy Plumping Glossy Lip Oil. This is so difficult to open. Like, I literally have to put in all my strength to just get it open, but then lip gloss gets everywhere, which, you know what, isn't really a big deal to me with other products that are just easier to open. And there's some, I don't care. I care so much with this one because it is so hard to open. If you have any sort of disability or weak hands, arthritis, anything like that, don't even look at these in the store. This is extremely minty. Even like, not even putting it up to my nose, if I just open it, I can smell the mint. It is very, very minty. So if you do not like minty lip products, again, don't even look at it in the store. It does feel minty on the lips, but it does not feel tingly. So if you're worried about things feeling tingly, don't worry. This doesn't tingle, it doesn't burn, it just has a slightly minty sensation. It says that it has ceramides and a peptide to plump the lips while you're wearing it and over time. I don't know who's wearing this enough to actually get those benefits like over time from this, if you're wearing this maybe all day, every single day, but lip glosses, you know, they wear off. So it looks nice. It has a good like medium level of shine to it. I have the shade Baby Panda, and it is a beautiful pale baby pink. I do think that this shade is stunning. It is a very, very nice pale pink. It is a bit of a thinner formula. It's not super sticky though, but it will stick to your lips. It's not going to stick your lips together, but it is going to stick to your lips. Like where you put it, that's where it's gonna be. I will say the packaging issues of this does keep me from reaching it because it's messy and it's difficult to open. So that, I don't reach for this as much as I probably would in different packaging. So second to last product, these are the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Serum lip glosses. These are hands down the most hydrating lip gloss I have ever used in my whole life. This shade, Self-Worth, I don't know if you can see in there because I've been like throwing this around. This is halfway empty, which if you know, are a lip product wearer, you know it takes a long time to get through a lip gloss. A lip gloss, usually like 2 years is when I'll finish it, and using it like semi-often. I am halfway done with this and I've had it for 3 months. 4 months. They sink into the lips like almost instantly. It has a 90% hydration base formula to it. It has hyaluronic acid, palmitoyl tripeptide 1, ceramide NP, vitamin E. So hydrating. You put it on, you feel it starting to work right away. And they are very pigmented. Like they are medium to full coverage pigment in a lip product. So skincare infused, very thin, full pigment lip glosses. They last about as long as any other lip gloss, I'm not gonna lie. They're not like extremely long wearing. These are pricey though. They are $26 for one lip gloss, which is, but again, it is IT Cosmetics. Their innovation is just on another level from any other makeup brand on the market right now. But it is something to consider whether or not it is going to be worth the splurge for you personally. For me, since I have such dry lips and so many products irritate my lips, I do think that these are worth the price for me. But that is not going to be the case for everyone because $26 for a lip gloss is insane. Finally, on the last product, this is the Naturium Phytoglow Lip Balm, and this is another skincare product that has moved into the makeup category for me. That is why it is in the makeup video. This is the thickest lip balm you will ever use. This stuff is shellac. This is a lacquer, okay? This is not a balm, but it is the shiniest thing you will ever put on your lips. Like, it rivals, it's not as shiny as MAC lip gloss, but oh my God. It's like, it's a lot thicker, but gives that same level of shine as the Laneige Lip Glowy Balms. This is an amazing, affordable alternative. This is $10, $9.99. This thing is no joke. This is more of a lip gloss to me than it is a lip balm because it is so thick and so shiny. Like, I'm not putting this on like before bed, it's gonna get all over my pillow, but this stuff is industrial. This is gonna leave your lips when it wants to, not when you want it to. And so I do use it as a lip gloss. I use this for toppers over lipsticks when I want like a lacquer, thick, high shine product. This is what I reach for, because even like if I'm squeezing it out of the tube, you gotta put some elbow grease in there. So if you find that lip products leave your lips super easily and you want something very moisturizing, very high shine, and it's gonna stay on your lips for a very long time and you're not gonna have to worry about it, especially, I don't know, if you're going somewhere and you want like a glossy lip look, but you don't want to reapply your gloss like every hour, this is what I would go for. It's drugstore, $9, $10, so good. And not everyone's gonna like this. If you don't like thick lip products and you don't like ultra high shine, this is not for you. I would, like, don't look at it. Don't look at it. And we are finally done. Thank you so much for watching. I will try and be more consistent with uploads. I have a lot of fun videos planned. I've just been dealing with some personal things in my life, so that's why I have been a little bit absent from all social platforms. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that my thoughts on all of these products was helpful in determining whether or not you're gonna get any of them. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.